The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get
He missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eklund.
It took over 3 months to get it in, but the Godzilla-Mothra doubleheader finally made its impact on the island nation of Japan. Once again, circumstances denied the fans the side-by-side Battle of Champions they have long since hoped for. The defending champion was mathematically eliminated, but a former champion has a virtual lock on his second crown. Meanwhile, the wear and tear of 9 seasons has the series limping its way to the end. The headlines give way to confetti and balloons as the series will crown its 9th champion in just over an hour when the checker flag falls on Twin Rings Motegi. You're watching the Global Sim Racing Channel, and its coverage of the Tidal Influence MX-5 World Tour begins now.
They hail from around the globe, and though separated by oceans, they gather in the virtual world to battle, to compete, to race. Whether they're former champions looking to regain the title, new and eager hopefuls driving for glory, or legends in their own time preparing to dominate, they're all here for one reason alone: to win. Today we'll find out whose name will be forever etched into the record books. You're watching the Tidal Influence MX-5 World Tour.
From the land of the rising sun, welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Tidal Influence MX-5 World Tour, race number 11, the Season 9 finale from Twin Rings Motegi. I'm your host, Bill Soupzon. With me today in the booth is R11. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director, Joe Peak, and the camera locations have been provided by Dougie Beard. After 10 events that produce racing often sublime but sometimes absurd, Season 9 has reached its finale, with the Season 3 champion Richard Eklund self-positioned to win his second title by default. It's been a long haul that will see only the most dedicated racers making its way to Coronation Day. Ayrton, the season sophomore event took place here, but today, back then it was on the big course, but today we're racing on the shorter east layout. Do you want to talk a little bit about what this configuration has to offer and some of the specifics of the race today?
Yeah, sure, Bill. Well, the east configuration is one of 3 configurations on Motegi. It's 2.1 miles long or 3.4 kilometers, has 11 all very different corners, to including hairpins and fast corners, and a couple S's as well. So it's definitely an interesting track, very fun to drive on as well. We also have a lap guide for the viewers to see what it's like to drive around the circuit.
All right, we've got Richard Losper in the GSRC MX-5, so let's do a lap around Motegi East. Coming down to turn 1, you'll immediately notice we start from a different grid than the main course. But you've still got a great passing opportunity into this first corner. It involves heavy braking, but it's slightly downhill, so just be careful not to overshoot it. The embanked sand trap will keep your car safe, but you'll be losing precious time. Then we head under the oval, and this is where we deviate from the main circuit. A fast and tricky series of S's are going to make racing single file from here until we return to the full track. It's going to be all about the rhythm and keeping your line tidy until you exit out of 5. That dumps you onto the backstretch, where if you really carried your speed well, you can think about attempting a pass at the hairpin of 6. This is a nice straightforward passing zone without much in the way of notes and addendums to watch out for. Position your car, outbrake your opponent, and just make it stick. Now we head back under the oval and into a fast flowing series of turns. 7 is flat out and simply a matter of giving it as little steering input as possible. But as you drift right and set up for 8, you're going to brake and downshift 1 gear. However, you can't relax because you switch directions right away into 9. This corner is really deceptive and lures you into getting back on the power sooner than you should. Finally, no time to rest because you cross the track once more and then throw out the anchor for 10. This one can be frustrating because it's a decreasing radius, but it's very important to get the exit right. You don't have the longest straight on the track leading to the final corner, but it's long enough that screwing up the previous turn can make you very vulnerable. This last one is a long, slow 180-degree right-hander. Sneaky drivers will get their opponent to defend the inside and then overtake on the exit with a well-executed over-under. But now that we're back on the pit straight, that is a lap around Motegi East.
We're going to change things up a bit. Usually we go to point standings now, but we're going to quickly bring in what we believe to be the Season 9 champion, although we don't want to give the commentator's curse, but we really don't see any way that Richard Eklund isn't going to get his second championship, and that's going to secure his place on the Wall of Fame. Richard, do you hear us?
Gotcha.
Hey, first of all, congratulations on a Season 9 championship. That was kind of a surprise.
Thanks.
And thanks for doing that. Hey, we're not going to talk too long with you right now, but I hear that you're offering to let us do a in-race interview with you if things are peaceful. You up for that?
Yeah, I figured I might as well. There's not that many people here today, unfortunately. I think it's a result of having so many pay tracks, but I figured it might not be the most exciting race, so I'll let myself keep occupied with an interview.
No, that's gonna be great. It may not be exciting for you, and also will help be exciting for the viewer. So that's great. Well, we look forward. We'll bring you in. We'll try to find a nice, peaceful time when you're not too busy. We don't want to get you when you're battling, and we look forward to talking to you during the race.
Alrighty, sounds good.
All right, Richard Eklund. We believe our Season 9 championship, unless my math is totally wrong. Let's go ahead and do a little more math now, if we can bring up the point standings. About that, you'll see Richard Eklund at the top of the charts with a 58-point lead now. With Juris Jelenko not here today, that's just secure. Even if Eklund were to finish last, I don't think the no-show compensation is going to be able to get Jelenko there. Jelenko's in second. Now, what's interesting is Amjad Yaman. He's been trying so hard. He wants to get a podium position. He's only 21 points back behind Sergio Mora. Sergio will be getting a no-show compensation. Amjad's going to need a really strong finish today to get up there. We go over. You see Evan Maillard there ranked in 30th position. He just hasn't put in the events to get to the 50% minimum requirement for participation. So he's going to be ranked well below these guys when the final season is sorted there. Torres in 6th, Deuce Allen in 7th, Sam McAleer in 8th, and hey, a shout out, Benjamin Lanawood up into 9th position. That's his best finish today, and we got good news for Benjamin. His main competitor in the Ironman Championship, Joseph Arrow, is not here today, so if Benjamin can just put in a few laps, which I'm certain he will, it looks like he's going to secure his 4th championship in the Ironman contest. Ayrton, let's quickly do keys to the race. It's a little longer race today. So, keys to the race brought to you by Blondie's Bar in Long Beach. What do you think might be important for these guys to have a good finish? Oh, thank you. Brought to you by Mountaintop Cabin Rentals. That's very important.
Well, as you said, it is a longer race, 75 minutes, 43 laps, and because of that, instead of the one-stop race that we normally have, these guys are going to have to make 2 stops throughout the race. We had that earlier in the season, I think it was Bathurst, and we saw some different strategies, actually. I'm looking forward to see the strategies for this race as well. At Bathurst, I think some guys did like 2 tires on the first stop and 4 tires on the second stop, or vice versa, or something like that. So it should be interesting around here, and especially with a smaller field, we don't have the usual problem of traffic. So I think the other big factor is probably going to be racecraft. As we were talking behind the scenes during the lap guide, there's quite a few passing zones around here. So if you can, if you're comfortable side-by-side racing, you're going to have a fun time around here.
Yeah, we were talking with our director, Joe Peak, and we were all in agreement that it's really a shame that we don't have a larger turnout, because there are a lot of great passing zones, and while this track is not as long as the Grand Prix configuration, it's still a pretty long, considering it's not the longest layout that this venue has to offer. It's still a pretty long race, a pretty long racetrack, and with a lot of great paces to pass. Certainly, with only 13 drivers in the race, traffic shouldn't be a problem. You know, one driver I'd like to talk about is Travis Swanky. Well, you're going to see him sitting on the pole here today. He was in one of our 6 fastest qualifiers, and because of his kind of far down the list on the average standings. He's going to be sitting on pole. Now, he's been on the lead, the first row before. I think he was on the first row. If memory serves me, I'm going to think it was Phillip Island that he might have been on the lead lap. He was up there maybe with Kent. That didn't go very well for both of those guys. So we're going to see how well that front row can hold up. Eklund, of course, is going to be starting 6th. He's going to be working his way through Amjad Yaman and Carlos Torres, who are up ahead of him. Deuce Allen was our fastest qualifier today, Ayrton, and he's going to be starting in the 3rd row. And I think we're going to go to grid right now. So let's see if we can talk through all 13 drivers on the grid.
Yep, well, Travis Schwenke is going to be on pole. He actually was on the front row 2 times before. You said at Phillip Islands and also at Oran Park. Stefan Overgaard is alongside him in 2nd. Then actually our fastest qualifier in 3rd. Carlos Torres in 4th place, then Amjad Yaman and Richard Eklund in 5th and 6th place. Benjamin Nelson's going to be in 7th, Benjamin Lanouette in 8th, Ironman winner, and also Jordy Fike in 9th, and then Dexter Castro in 10th.
Eric Garcia, Jeroen Ursum, and Triff Smith round out the baker's dozen that will be starting the race today. Okay, I hear the engines are revving up. You see that orange car of Travis Schwenke on the pole position. The lights are up. They're revving their engines. Next to him is Stefan Overgaard in that blue and white car. Oh, Schwenke jumps the gun. Oh, that's going to be a black flag for Schwenke. Oh, that's too bad. Meanwhile, Deuce Allen and Carlos Torres blowing right through the middle of Schwenke and Overgaard. Allen into 1st, Torres into 2nd. There goes Amjad Yaman, going to go into 3rd as they head towards the right-hand turn number 1. Yaman's going to take 3rd place, and there goes Eklund into 4th position. Overgaard drops down to 5th. Schwenke is back to 6th, and he has a lap. He's going to have a stop and go to serve. There goes Eklund into 3rd position ahead of Yaman. So your leaders after half a lap, Deuce Allen pulling away, Carlos Torres and Richard Eklund.
Yeah, Eklund had a fantastic start, had a little bit of contact with Travis Schwenke going into turn 1, but managed to make a move on Amjad right after to get into that 3rd place position. At the moment, Dexter Castro is trying to make a move on Stefan Overgaard for that 6th place, or 5th place position rather, and they're still side by side, just heading through, I think this is turn 4 or 5, I'm not sure quite for his configuration, but he's actually going to get the position. Stefan Overgaard is going to have to slot back into line.
Tripp Smith is well off the pace. I didn't see any contact with him, but maybe he's just laying back. Horrible break for Schwenke. I'm assuming that iRacing is going to demand that he comes in for a black flag. Let's see if that happens as they come around the end of the first lap and see if he actually comes in. Schwenke currently running now in 10th position, just ahead of Jordy Fike. And there you go. You see Schwenke coming in. Oh, sometimes got a little excited up there on the pole. Wanted to get a good start. Didn't want to get run over by those faster guys, and it bit him.
Yeah, tough start to the race for Travis Schwenke. He had a great start. Well, he didn't have a great start, but he was in a good position to have a great start.
Had a good start if you consider qualifying the beginning of your day. Yeah, it was well done. All right, let's go ahead and maybe we'll just go ahead and run through these top drivers up here. So there are only 13 of them. We'll set them up. Maybe the director can follow along with us. Up in front in the blue car there, see if I can come to, that's the Mountaintop Cabin car. It's Deuce Allen running in 1st. 2nd place in the Café de Colombia, the brown, yellow, blue, red car of Carlos Torres. 1 position back from him, in the blue and yellow Tampex car, it's our season 3 and our season 6 and I think our season 9 champion of Richard Eklund. Right behind him in they're telling me it's green in the Child's Play car, it's Amjad Yaman. In the multicolored 49 Motorsports, yellow with purple wheels and green, and it's all sorts of colors, Dexter Castro running in 5th position, about a half second ahead of Stefan Overgaard in the AMS machine there, the blue and white car. Running in 7th position, Benjamin Nelson in the parts group car. Nice finish from him. Hoping to get a top 10 in the pink Barbie car. He holds the record for most races entered without a top 10. I think he's going to get it today. Jeroen Ursum in car number 51, the pink Barbie car, running currently in 8th. Behind him, your Iron Man Benjamin Lanouette, he's looking for his 4th Ironman championship. Without Joseph Arrow here today, I think he's going to get it. Right behind him in the charcoal car is the Blondie's machine of Eric Garcia, running in 10th. 11th position is Jordy Fike, 3.4 seconds ahead of 12th position Trip Smith in the Moose Mobile. And rounding out the field, I think, is Travis Schwenke, who had to serve that stop and go. So there's your 13 drivers, and we go back to the lead, and it's still Deuce Allen in front, holding off Carlos Torres.
And Carlos Torres is a little farther back while he's trying to hold off Richard Eklund, who's actually right on the rear of him. He got very close, tried to make a move into one, couldn't quite get close enough for it, but actually on that front stretch, you get a good amount of draft, so making moves into that turn 1, that's probably the best passing zone for most of these guys.
Eklund, I think, is where the action's going to be, as he's behind Torres now. The distance is about 0.3 of a second, and there's Eklund pulling right up on the back bumper. You can see as we're on board looking over the top of the Tampex windshield. You can see Torres ahead, and then way ahead in that blue car, you can just see entering that left-hander is our leader, John Deuce Allen. It's nice to see Deuce Allen get through that lap 1 jinx that I think he's got over now. And now we're on board with Jeroen Urson there. We're looking at him currently in 9th position in a great battle. Let's see who he's fighting with there. Lanouette just got around him. Lanouette now moves into 8th place. Jeroen Urson in 9th. And of course, he's followed right behind by Jordy Fike. Urson can afford to drop 1 more spot back to Fike, but he doesn't want to drop back any farther. Eric Garcia, running in 11th in that charcoal car, would like to get into the top 10. There you see those cars coming down the straight.
As Jeroen goes really deep into braking, almost hit the rear of Lanouette.
Lanouette, Urson, and Fike. 8th, 9th, and 10th, with the charcoal car of Eric Garcia running just behind, looking for them to make a mistake.
Oh, there's a pass for second, actually. Richard Eklund going on the outside of Carlos Torres as they're heading through turn 6, right behind John Allen at this point. They're still side by side as they're going up to 7. Carlos Torres has the inside.
Of course, shorter distance. Eklund with a little momentum now, but now Eklund has the inside, and I think he's going to close the deal here. No, Torres stays in there, but Eklund's going to close the door on him. Eklund moves into 2nd position and now sets his sight on the leader, John Deuce Allen. We're going back now as we're watching the pass that Eklund put on Torres. We're seeing him right now as they come through the S's. Eklund in the blue and yellow car. Well, back now we're looking well up over the top on our chopper cam. Eklund stalking. Torres does not have a good exit out of the turn, then Eklund makes the move on the outside, pins Torres on the inside. Torres hung tight. Yeah, hung tough. They almost got into the leader, Deuce Allen, there as they go under the overpass. You can see side by side. Can I use the phrase? Like a pair of Cialis bathtubs. There, I got that one out of the way. I'm retiring that phrase now. As you see, side by side they go, and then Eklund is able to not quite finalize it here. Torres fights back, but then Eklund closes the door and they move into 2nd position. That's a nice pass.
Back to live. It looks like it's happening all over again. Amjad Yaman couldn't quite get the same run as Eklund did, but Carlos Torres struggling a little bit in the past couple laps now because Yaman is really hounding him.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yaman sitting just outside of podium position. Torres having a very good season. Sitting in 6th overall in the point standings. Amjad Yaman sitting 4th and really wants to get a nice finish so he can get around Sergio Mora, who's not here today, move up into the 3rd position. I think that would be his best standing finish of his career. He has never finished outside the top 5, though. Amjad prides himself on consistency. We're on board right now as you can look just over the dashboard at the Colombian driver ahead. Whoops, I heard a little contact here. was it Jerome Ursum got punted by, he's still on board though, a little contact by Eric Garcia. No, Ursum spins and saves it. Locked it up, held it, came to a dead stop. So we're going to see it on replay now. You can watch here at the charcoal color of, that's after the contact. He just wasn't able to hold it together. He brings it to a stop in the middle of the track. And that's that yellow car that goes around him there. I think that might have been either Schwenke, if it was orange, or Benjamin Nelson. I'm not sure. Probably Schwenke. Schwenke.
Oopsie, Kirsten, Bill.
Oh, it's a long race. Plenty of time for Jeroen to get back in there.
That's true.
He's not
2 pit stops to go.
watching him race. He looks a little out of sorts. Let's hope his car is okay. I'm looking on the back. It doesn't seem too damaged. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead has really tightened up now. It's really a 4-car battle. Deuce Allen. And surprisingly, Richard Eklund has not been able to tighten up on Allen. And now Carlos Torres is back pressuring for 3rd position and watching the whole thing take place.
We got a good run out of that corner.
Looking off the back, maybe we can see the pass here off the tail of Allen. You can see Torres going to the outside of Eklund. Not going to be able to get it done. Is there going to be room for Amjad Yaman to peek in? Nope.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this top 4 is that actually I'm going to hold off on that because Torres has a really good run out of that corner. Eklund is forced to go defensive as they're heading into turn 1. This is a tight braking zone. They're going to go side by side as they enter the braking zone. Torres stuck on the outside, can't quite make the move. Is he going to try to get the over-under? Can't get the run, but Amjad Yaman closes in a lot on him.
Somebody go back to the replays of the last couple races. I think I remember Richard Eklund saying, I never go defensive. That looked like a defensive move there as he protected the inside. A lot of pressure. And now we have Amjad Yaman with a run on Torres, but I don't think he's going to get it done. A lot of great battling. Look at the late braking by Torres as he really closed in on Eklund there.
Yeah, as I was saying, the interesting thing about these top 4 is that actually Allen, Eklund, and Yaman, they qualified the top 3 fastest times, and they're all within less than a tenth of each other. Meanwhile, Torres was, I think he qualified 4th fastest and was a few, like 3 tenths back or something behind these guys. So I'm actually surprised him keeping pace with these guys so easily. It must be the draft. As we actually see Eklund go off a little bit, he's a little bit of a wobble, manages to save it.
Yeah, Allen seems to get a lead, and then Eklund seems to gobble him up. Then maybe there's some fighting going on for 2nd and 3rd back behind there. They lose a little ground on Allen, then they get in a line again, and then they run him down. Let's see if Eklund can run down Allen like he has before.
Oh, there's a little contact.
Little hello from a little Colombian hola from Sergio Torres there, or from Carlos Torres. But what happened is he lost momentum in the corner because of that, and now Amjad Yaman is going to maybe take a little peek on the inside here. Nope. It's a long race. Amjad knows how to bide his time.
Yeah, and Eklund, this is the 3rd corner in a row that he's gone off on the dirt on the exit. He seems to be struggling quite a bit.
We're talking about what Yaman may be thinking. Of course, he is the doctor of pit topology. He may be waiting for the pit stops. Maybe just biding his time. My fellow announcer in previous broadcasts likes to say that the doctor is playing patient.
Torres got a little weak exit out of that corner. Amjad Yaman might be able to get a run as they're going through turn 7. He might be able to make a move on the inside to 8. Carlos Torres positioned himself in the middle of the track, decides to go back to the outside since Yaman backed off.
Meanwhile, the battle behind them have all settled down with nice space in between Castro, Overgaard, Nelson, Lanowet, Fike. Those have all seemed to settle down. In fact, Jordy Fike has maybe fallen back a little bit. Let's see. Jordy Fike running, in 10th position now. Schwenke is up to 11th. And let's check in on Jeroen Ursum, running 12th. 11 seconds back from Schwenke, so he's got some work to do. But it's a long race. You'll know it's a long race as this goes along, as Ayrton and I begin to talk off subject on matters of world politics and art. So stay tuned from that.
I think it's kind of rare when the only battle going on is the ones for the lead.
Absolutely. And it's really Taurus and Yaman. Yaman is really just looking left, looking right on Taurus, just kind of bothered the Colombian driver.
Yeah, it's interesting because Torres is actually a driver that is quite often in the top 6. He's actually a very fast driver and can set good qualifying times down, but he never finishes races well. But at the start of the races, he's normally starts in the lead, and he's normally a really difficult driver to pass as well because he's so late on the brakes, so it's really difficult to get on the inside of him entering the corner.
Let's see if we watch this as they come up on this long straightaway. They enter in the... Oh, Yaman closes up a little bit there. Torres gets a good exit. Yaman just peeking at him. Trying to make the Colombian nervous, which he probably will be able to do easier than most because of the coffee that the Colombian driver obviously drinks before the race. Meanwhile, Deuce Allen has stretched his lead out to just under a second on Richard Ecklund. As they come, go ahead.
We should bring in Ecklund in for an interview because I have no idea what the pit window is, and he might be one to ask.
Well, I would hate to bother him a little too. I think it's just a matter of time before Ecklund makes a move on Allen and this thing settles down. I think right now Ecklund is putting in the best laps he can.
Yeah, he closed
we do
in
not, but
3
you are
tenths.
right. Yeah, we do not have a clue about what the pit window is today.
Nope. We should have asked in the pre-race interview, but we are unprepared.
Well, it's the last race of the season. We have 13 drivers, so we can take it. I think we can probably figure this out. No, I'm hearing now that Jeroen Urson has left. No, he's in the pits. He has pitted. He's coming out of the pits right now. So let's hope maybe he went in for repairs and got that maybe an early pit stop, and he can do one more from here to get to the end.
Maybe. Well, maybe that's the start of the pit window.
That's what I'm thinking, that maybe the Netherlands driver has come in and pitted early.
Did he take any tires?
The car might have been a little bit damaged, so maybe he came in, got a little of the tail end pounded out. Little duct tape.
He took no tires.
Well, you would think if you were going to take tires, you're probably going to do it when you have a long fuel stop. So his tank probably wasn't very empty, so he probably just came in, topped off, made it quick. Get out there. He is running in 13th, but still on the lead lap. We're just going to stay with Yaman and Torres there. They're still the best battle on the track right now. We'll go back and pick up some of those other drivers in a second. We're going to go over the top of the windscreen. Amjad Yaman in the Child's Play car. Considerably far back now if you look up ahead there.
Yeah, he had a really weak exit out of that corner.
Torres has put on all of 3 points. Actually, Torres is just pulling away from Yaman. It's up to 3.2 seconds now. You were thinking the director that maybe he got a slowdown penalty because Torres is just see you later to the Texan driver there.
Yeah, where can you get a slowdown on this track? 30S's, I'm thinking.
So to look at these intervals now, Deuce Allen's still just under 1 second ahead of Ecklund. He has about 2.3 seconds on Carlos Torres. As we're looking at Ecklund use up all the track and AstroTurf and grass and whatever else is there. Carlos Torres about 3.2 seconds ahead of Amjad Yaman. And then it's another 3.2 seconds back to Dexter Castro. Only about a second back to Stefan Overgaard. You can see Stefan. There you go. You see both of them on the screen. Look at Castro go really wide on that corner. There's a nice shot down the straightaway. That yellow car there, that multicolored car is Castro, and then the blue and white car of Overgaard. Then behind them, in that bright yellow car, I recognize that. That's Benjamin Nelson. Ooh, I hear contact somewhere. Was it maybe Jeroen Ursum again, I'm thinking? I'm not sure.
Trip Smith is off track.
Trip Smith,
yeah,
maybe.
He hit the wall, actually. In turn 8, skimmed the grass, spun around, and hit that wall a little bit.
And now Ursum has gotten around him, so Ursum up to 12th, Smith dropping down to 13th, so there we go. We'll see if we can get it on replay. Way up high in the Moose Mobile, the beautiful multicolored LL Bean car of Trip Smith. Boy, he totally missed the apex, went wide onto the grass, looped it back around, came across the dirt, put it on the binders, couldn't keep it off the wall. That was a long ride. Turns 8 and 9 he had trouble with there, and now Smith is coming into the pits to see if he can get some repair and maybe top off with fuel. Maybe he can get that car fixed up. See if he can put in the finish this race. Fike now 16 seconds ahead of Ursum, but you can see one little mistake like that, though, and Ursum can get right back up there. Meanwhile, our leaders are keeping intervals there, and there's a shot of Jeroen Ursum. Jeroen, okay. Back to our leaders there. Deuce Allen, Eklund, and then it's well back to Carlos Torres. Almost 3 seconds back to Torres. And Torres is really putting 3 seconds. It's 3 seconds to Amjad Yaman, and almost 4.5 seconds to Dexter Castro. So they're really spread out. Here's let's look at this battle here, Ayrton, of Castro and Overgaard. Overgaard's been able to run him down. This is a battle for 5th.
Yeah, interesting thing, Dexter Castro actually started in 10th place near the back of the pack and managed to get up into the top 5 fairly quickly. Passed Overgaard early on, and now Overgaard coming back at him.
Took him a couple laps to run him down, but he's right there now. 2 veterans of the series. And it's not so much team racing really doesn't play a factor here in the Tidal Influence series, but these 2 drivers are very familiar with each other in another wonderful series, the Continental Tire Series, where they drive for very competitive teams over there, where team racing plays a much bigger factor. And of course, Dexter Castro, 49 Motorsports, and Stefan Overgaard of AMS Racing.
Yeah, those 2 teams are probably the biggest rivals around.
It's the Hatfields and the McCoys. Go back and take a quick look now as we've moved back on board with our Season 9 champion, Richard Eklund, and now we're looking at him in the blue and yellow Tampix car, beginning to close in a little bit on Deuce Allen. Hey, we got to give a tip of the hat to Deuce Allen. This is probably the most he's led in this year, certainly the most he's been in front. Doing a nice job. Just as, we're hearing that Deuce is not feeling so well.
Yeah, and also, I mean, we have Richard Eklund, who's a 2-time champion. He has won 4 races this season. John Allen, his highest finish, he's never even gone a podium before, and he's racing for a lead with Eklund.
Well, whatever Deuce has, I'd like a dose of that myself, because making him fast. We're watching now. He was doing a driver experience at Mid-Ohio. Boy, that must have really been rough to do. There we see a long shot as they drive away from us there. Now they're coming at us. Deuce Allen and the blue and yellow car of Richard Eklund. Way back to Carlos Torres.
Yeah, these guys got to be careful. Ooh, as Allen gets a little loose there on the exit. But these guys start battling quite a bit. Carlos Torres is going to get there in no time, as we saw earlier how Alan was gaining a lead when the guys are battling.
Alan now working lap 15. We're 1/3 of the way there. The first third went by pretty quickly. The announcers were strapped for things to say, able to avoid politics and religion, so maybe we'll get through this without any controversy from behind the mic.
I might have a few jokes in case it does get a little boring.
Okay, we break out that harmonica. It's the, you know what? Is that harmonica handy?
No, it's not here today, out of all days.
Of all days, we could have used a little harmonica solo from my mic mate. This has been a nice battle. You know, even though it's a small field, it's been some good racing. Eklund and Alan doing a nice job there of putting on a nice show. I almost would like to go into the car right now. I'd like to ask Eklund if he's given Alan all that he has or if he's waiting. It's not like Eklund to be overly patient.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and because Alan was so fast, Alan was a faster qualifier. My hunch is that Eklund's doing all he can to get there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're within a tenth of each other in qualifying. And Alan's showing that was not a fluke. And you're right, like, Eklund, there's no reason for him to be patient. He's already won the championship for the season, so, I mean, all you can go for is an all-out win right now.
As Alan crosses, starting now lap 16. You know, fans of the series couldn't be happier, though. If there's a guy who deserves a break, it's Deuce Allen. If it wasn't for bad luck, he'd have no luck at all. And it's nice to see him doing well now, leading over a third of this event. What a great way to wrap up the season. Over the summer, he could hang on to his victory. Now we're going to go back and look at Overgaard here, making a move on Castro. Oh, they're side by side, and Overgaard's going to make the move.
Oh, is Castro going to try to get over-under? He got a good run out of the corner, but the S is a little difficult to go side by side into, so he has to back out of it.
Now it'll be interesting to see if Overgaard can pull away. Clearly he had the speed to stay with him, and I think he was faster because he ran him down. Now let's see what can happen here as Overgaard, see if he can begin to stretch it out. There's a lot of places, enough places here, don't you think, Aaron, where the draft can keep you close?
Yeah, for sure. It's surprising because you don't normally think of road tracks besides Rovals that are draft tracks, but this one's definitely it. And it's also a shorter track that is a draft track. Like, it's not Spa or anything that has a super long straight, but it still gives a good amount of draft.
Well, it has a couple significant straightaways here. Certainly not long like we're used to seeing on some of these, but enough where it can help you out. Keep an eye on the time here. The interval is about a half second back to Overgaard or to Castro right now. We'll keep an eye and see if Overgaard can stretch that out. Let's go ahead and look back at our leaders here, and there they go right by. Deuce Allen and Richard Eklund holding position. Eklund about 5 seconds up on Torres. Whoops, I heard something. Could it have been? I'm hearing banging somewhere here. I can't seem to find it.
And Castro's in the pits, but I don't think he had contact or anything.
Nope. Trip Smith's still in the pits now, 5 laps down. Probably he hit that wall pretty significantly, so maybe he's staying in there for the extended contact. Hey, here comes Eklund making a move, taking a peek now, and I don't think he's there. Just taking a little look inside.
Yeah, that would have been a risky move if he tried to go for that.
Yeah, let him know that he's there.
Castro took 4 tires on his stop, so that's probably his lawn stop. I think most drivers will probably be doing their lawn stop first.
Yeah, that'll probably go the distance. 17 laps. He probably ran that. I think my guess would be that these guys are running them pretty dry here. Still looking at the leaders. Eklund now much closer. I just think it's any day now, any second now that Eklund's going to poke his nose in there, and we'll see what Alan does. You can hear them screeching the tires around. Go ahead.
I kind of want these guys to battle a bunch so then Torres can catch up.
The distance back to Taurus is see if I can get that for us here. It's about 5 and 5.2 seconds still, holding steady. Yaman's been able to close in a little bit. Took about a half a second off of the distance between Taurus and Yaman. Deuce Allen now holding off there. There we see Amjad Yaman. Now we're back on Deuce. Put a little distance now back between them.
I think Deuce is so sick that the pressure isn't pumping in, so he's just driving like a robot right now.
Sometimes that cold medicine can help you. What a great battle for the lead here. Let's take a quick look. Castro has gone in the pits. We were going to look back and see how Overgaard has done in that battle with Castro, but that's obviously done. But it will be interesting to see when Overgaard comes in if he can come out ahead of Castro. That's something to watch for. I've got a hunch that these are all long stints, except for something that Jeroen Urson came in earlier, took that quick pit stop. I think these guys are going to try to run it dry.
Oh, Eklund into the pits.
Okay, here we go. Keep an eye on Eklund for me, and let's see if he takes tires. I would think he would.
Yeah, Torres and Yaman also into the pits as well. Yeah, everyone's coming into the pits, Overgaard. So Allen decides to stay out for a little longer.
Torres in. And actually, Torres hit the pit wall on the left side when he came in. And I think that might be some of the contact I'm hearing as cars coming in. They're scraping their left side front when they're coming in. 4 tires for Eklund, huh?
Torres had a great stop. He's racing Eklund out of the pit lane right now.
Oh, right behind Richard Eklund. Nose to tail. Meanwhile, Deuce hasn't come around yet, so we'll see if Allen's going to come in this time. I would think he can't. I think he couldn't afford to stay out too much longer and let Eklund get those tires warmed up and start hot lapping on fresh tires. So I really think, I always like to call it like yacht racing, where you have to cover the tack. One guy comes into pit, if that other boat tacks, you have to tack to keep the wind off of them. We'll see if Deuce comes in. We're wondering perhaps maybe Torres only took 2 tires, but we can see Eklund now pulling away a little bit ahead from him.
Torres took only right tires.
Only right side tires.
Eklund took both.
Okay, our leader is in the pits. Looked like he came in with a nice fast exit. Coming up, let's see if he can get in that pit stall cleanly. He does. Oh no, he overshoots the pit stall. Oh!
It's going to cost him a couple seconds.
So now we'll look at Eklund now. That might be all that Richard needs to get ahead of Deuce. And then we'll see if Eklund can say goodnight. Allen still in his stall. Seeing where Eklund is on the track. Oh, there he is going across the start-finish line right now.
That cost him.
Yeah. Deuce is going to come out behind even Torres. Is he going to be ahead of Amjad Yaman? Yes, he files in into 3rd place.
In fact, Overgaard actually got past Yaman in his pit stop.
Overgaard is actually showing him in 4th position, yes. We talked about that, about how he would do in compared to Castro. Well, he crushed Castro.
Yeah, Overgaard took only 2 tires as well, but it's interesting because Torres took right side 2 tires, whereas Overgaard took left side 2 tires.
See, but we really don't know here because Overgaard necessarily would not need to fill up his tank all the way. He could have short filled, and he may have to come in here quickly and take his full that's hard to say, a complete fuel load on his next stop, or maybe he's doing like a 1/3, 1/3. So you really don't know where these guys stand and how much fuel they'll have to take next time because we don't know how much fuel they took this time.
Yeah, I'm interested with Torres's tire call though, because it is a clockwise track. So normally, like most drivers would choose left side tires if they're taking only 2 tires, because there's more right-handers.
Yeah, I'm not sure how quickly the fuel goes in, but Torres could have decided to take only as much fuel as could go in while he took 2 tires, and maybe take 2 tires again next time and take the rest of his fuel. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. He's holding his own with Eklund, about 7 seconds back, running in second place. Now, Torres has about a 5-second lead on Deuce Allen running in third. And Overgaard, there's a nice battle. Maybe we can go ahead, drop back to third and fourth here. There's a great battle. Allen, Overgaard, and Amjad Yaman for third, fourth, and fifth.
Yeah. Yaman right on the rear of Overgaard at this point.
And Yaman
goes
the dirt.
wide.
And if I don't have my information in front of me, if memory serves right, Yaman is also a 49 Motorsports driver. Is that that's correct? Yes.
Well, so is John Allen.
Yes, well, that's because Dexter Castro has gone out and he's monopolized most of the top talent. 49 Motorsports is loaded. I would like to see what the payroll is for that company.
Well, MS is as well. You have Sergio Mora,
That's
James
true.
Stevenson.
And another name from the past, Yao Freitas, I believe, has been signed by 49 Motorsports. So it is.
Yeah.
It is it is truly something else.
Dexter's good at what he does.
They keep going out getting hired guns.
Oh, Eklund goes very wide on
Very
the exit
wide.
of the final corner. Doesn't cost him that much time, but Torres is definitely going to close in a little bit.
Nice battles. We're going to go to the replay now as we cut away. Look at that shot down the straightaway that the director has for us. We're watching Eklund on screen right now. Oh, Eklund, way outside.
You know, I feel like he actually gained time from that more than lose time.
Now we're back live again. Really has been a dominant showing from when you show up. Richard Eklund has 4 wins. He's only entered 7 races. In fact, if you can put one here, that's 5 out of 8. That's pretty good. That's championship form. And then not to be forgotten is what Evan Maillard has done. He has 3 wins, and I think only 4 or 5 appearances, maybe 5, maybe 6 appearances at most. No, I think only 5 appearances. 4 appearances, 3 out of 4. So there's the cream of the crop right there. We're going back to Overgaard's in trouble. We're looking back at Overgaard. He's in the alfalfa. Can he keep it off of Amjad Yaman? Oh, nice job from Overgaard. Oh, I thought he was going to bring it across the grass and bring it into Yaman. Yaman could see it coming. Let's watch this now. I have it on replay here. We're actually on board with Overgaard. He goes wide in the dirt. Now he's on the inside. Now he gets loose. Now he's on the golf course. Now he's on the fairway. Now he's on the putting green. And he misses Amjad Yaman. Woo.
You know, it's actually interesting. I know Evan Maillard isn't in this race, but you always liked the Evan Maillard Richard Eklund battle. They've only actually raced in 3 events together this season, and in those events, Maillard won 2 of them, and Eklund won only 1.
Yeah, we went back and researched the statistics on head-to-head life career on them, and Maillard owns Eklund, but this season it would have been interesting. Eklund constantly claims that he's as fast, and I think it's a legitimate statement. I think it would be wonderful to see them actually get side by side, but for circumstances always seems to keep them separated.
So Eklund goes a little wide in turn 6. That cost him a little bit of time. Let Torres get back into that draft.
So Overgaard, after his little lawn mowing experience, has slopped into 5th position there. About 12 seconds ahead of Castro. But again, we don't know what the next set of pit stops has in store for everybody. Director, let's go back and have a quick check-in on Jeroen Ursum. Currently running in 12th. Oh, on the lead lap still. Let's see how far back he is. 15 seconds back to George Fike in 11th. So he's going to need a little bit of help to get that top 10. Top 10 right now held by
Eric Garcia.
Eric Garcia.
Who's 26 seconds ahead.
Lots of room for racing. There we're looking at Eric Garcia. There's a veteran, fellow California driver. Okay, let's go back to the lead as the Colombian driver has not given up on Richard Eklund.
There is no instant limit in this series, right?
There is not, and these guys are using... They're going to be in triple figures.
No, well, Eklund is, that's for sure. He's like Koeman's, just disregards the boundaries of the lap. Or the track, rather.
There is no envelope for them. They just... there's no envelope to push. They put it wherever they want. Deuce Allen was looking for his first win, and then bad luck beset him. And Carlos Torres also looking for his first win. It'd be nice for one of these guys to sneak in here over the summer. They can have that win in their pocket through the hot months.
Yeah, Torres' highest finish this season is 4th place, whereas John Allen's is 4th place. Torres has gotten 1 podium in a 3rd place slot earlier in the season.
Well, we're going to go back here and look at a little battle for 8th place. Travis Schwenke and Benjamin Lanowet. Lanowet, I think, has put in enough miles that he has claimed his 4th Ironman championship. Really sad Joseph Arrow isn't here, and I wouldn't be surprised if Giuseppe got a little language, may have caught him by surprise, as the season was scheduled to end last week, but it got moved 1 week farther into June because of a makeup race we had to do as Lanowet dives in deep on Schwenke. This is a nice battle for 8th. So hopefully Giuseppe knew that there was a race today and he wasn't caught by surprise. Maybe there was some kind of obligation he needed to go to on a Italian Saturday.
Yeah, how many races has he entered now? It's over 100,
I think it was
right?
106. That's
Wow.
dedication.
Yeah, he's been racing since season 1.
Surprisingly, Dexter Castro is the only driver here who has racing today, who has raced in at least 1 race in all 9 seasons. Now, there are a few drivers, Koemans and who else? I think the friendly Canadian Stefan Morian is also one driver who's raced in them all. And of course, Giuseppe Arro. So there's 4 drivers who have never missed a season completely. Looking at Castro right now, currently running in 6th. Checking back in on our leaders.
Yeah, still very
it's,
close.
Yeah, it's still Eklund and Torres waiting for maybe that pit stop. Now, just based on the speed of their last pit stop, you would think that maybe Torres is going to need to take more fuel. If he got out because of that, he had a very fast stop. We'll see what happens on this next round, as we are currently working lap 26th, over halfway.
Yeah, John Allen and Amjad Yaman have closed a little bit on the back of Eklund and Torres, but they're still about Allen's about 4 seconds back. Yaman is about 6 seconds back.
The Schwenke Lanowet battle has kind of cooled off a little bit there. There, we're looking at it. Well, actually, he's pulled back in a little bit on him. See, Lanowet seems to be a little faster in the corners, on the brakes. Let's see what they are in corner exit here as they go through here. Schwenke able to stretch it out a little bit. They come down looking at this right-hander. Both drivers move to the outside now.
Lanowit closes right in and actually loses a little bit of momentum there. He didn't want to get into the back of Schwenke.
Yeah, Schwenke having a good recovery drive. He had that black flag after the jump start.
Oh, we talk about how you want to end your season. That's got to gnaw on him all season long. It's nice to, all summer, he'll be thinking of that one.
Torres has now closed the gap on Eklund. Actually tried to make a move in the final corner. He's going to maybe make another move in one. Decides to back out of it, but he's closing in very well on the straights and especially driving well with only 2 tires on his car. Well,
For
2
those
fresh
viewers
tires.
at home, he has 4 tires on his car, but only 2 of them are fresh.
He's secretly driving a motorcycle disguised as his car.
Really done a great job of hanging on to the back of Eklund. If we're looking to see if Overgaard has come into pit because he's fallen down. And yes, he did pit. He came in on lap 27. So that's his second pit stop. So there's Overgaard now. Should be done.
Yeah, so he took left side again. So his right side tires are going to be going the whole race long.
Now, is that the other side? That's not the same side that Torres took, am I correct?
Yeah, Torres took right side, so I think he's probably going to take left side on his second stop, but take 2 tires in both stops. It's an interesting strategy. As the leaders are going by Trip Smith, our first lap car on track, that is. There's a couple guys that have gone down while pitting.
Does a great job of getting over. Let's stay back on Trips. Oh, no, we'll stay on the left. I was going to say, let's watch Trip Smith, but I think we got to pass for the lead. Oh, Torres is just giving Eklund a hard time.
He gets a run, but it's never enough to make a move.
Probably not enough to make a move on lap 28, but it might be enough to make a move on lap 42.
Actually, he loses a little bit of time through the S's there.
He's now has, it's 3 seconds, just over 3 seconds back to Deuce Allen, who still has those guys inside. And remember, Deuce overshot his pit stall, so he had a horrible pit stop his first time through. We'll really know where these guys stand and a few more laps when they start coming in for that final pit stop. So far, Overgaard's the only driver who's been able to do that. He's 43 seconds back, but still on the lead lap.
Yeah, and John Allen still closing the gap a little more. He gained 3/10 that previous lap, or 2/10 rather.
Looking in on a battle for 7th is it's Schwenke again. Lanowit just can't get around him.
Yeah, Schwenke is interestingly a pretty fast driver. When he qualifies high up, as Lanowit gets a little bit of a run, Schwenke actually does pretty well. As he did at Oran Park, he actually had that early lap instant at Oran Park, you remember, through turns 1 and 2. And you also said he was battling the top 5 at Phillip Island. So when he's up there, he's up there. But normally he's somewhere in the mid-pack for these races.
It'll be interesting to see how much Lanowit wants to really press the issue here. He knows there's one more stop coming. He might want to wait till then. Lanowit trying to get that spot. He's been trying to get that spot for 7-8 laps now. Looking back, I heard a little bit of a problem for Amjad Yaman. He got a little bit loose. Everything's fine. Nothing to go back on, but he lost a little time. Meanwhile, the distance now. Eklund has put a ton of space on Torres. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Looking at the wrong. This hat's not that far back. My mistake.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's still about half a second behind Eklund at this point.
That was the distance between Deuce Allen and Amjad Yaman. No, Torres right in there with him. Really, 2 battles going on that we're keeping an eye on. It's the battle for the lead, and then that exciting battle for 7th place between Schwenke and Benjamin Lanowit. 2 closest fights right now. Now we have a lapped car just ahead of the leader, sir. Let me see if I can see who that is. It's George Fike, currently running in 10th position. Fike having a pretty good season so far. So this will be interesting. We'll keep an eye on this when these leaders come in. We'll see if Taurus can maybe take advantage of that. It all matters when they catch Fike. But Fike's got pretty good pace. It may be quite a while before Fike is actually ran down by these guys. He's got about a straightaway lead. Might be pit stops come before that happens.
Yeah. John Deuce Allen still closing the gap. He's actually in the past 2 laps went from 3.9 seconds back to 3 seconds back.
Garcia is in the pits now. We missed what happened to Eric. He's in the pits. And why is that so important? Well, for all you Dutch fans out there, that means that Jeroen Ursum is now up to 11th position, within striking distance. He might need a little help from the racing gods. I don't know if he can get to George Fike. 23 seconds back between Fike and Ursum, but he's there if there's a problem.
Yep, and besides Jordy Fike, everyone else is really battling pretty competitively. Next one up is Stefan Overgaard. So, Jeroen, hoping that the racing gods somehow punish Jordy Fike. Of course, we don't want that to happen to Fike.
Well, it doesn't have to be Fike. It could be anybody up there. I mean, if Eklund and Torres start to tangle. I know I'm supposed to stay unbiased, but I'm sorry, you guys. Eklund, Torres, Allen, Yaman, Castro, Nelson, Schwenke, Lanowet, Overgaard, Fike. I'm hoping one of you guys has a little problem. I would like to see Jeroen get a top 10. Now, I didn't say which one, but if one of you want to miss a shift, that would be fine with me and all the fans in the Netherlands. Not Switzerland. We hear from the director. No, we've worked on our geography. Netherlands. I think that's Dutch shoes and that's wooden shoes and windmills, I think.
And Robin van Persie.
And Smorgasborg. All right.
And Barbies.
There are certainly Barbies are. You can find Barbies on Mars and Venus, I think. That's a popular toy. Ken is on Mars. Ken's from Mars and Barbie's from Venus. We hear from our director. That's okay. We're on lap 31. You can see that we're beginning to get a little loopy. Let's get back down to business here. We're still looking at 2 battles and waiting for the second round of pit stops. Richard Eklund leads by almost half a second now on Carlos Torres. Still running within sight of them all is Deuce Allen.
Yeah, about 12 laps to go. We're on lap 31 at this point.
I'm going to go through and we're going to make this last call, but we're going to go top to bottom here. Last call brought to you by Blondie's Bar in Long Beach. We're going to do it in reverse order. We're going to go from top to bottom. And Yaman in 4th place. About 21 seconds back then is Dexter Castro running in 5th. About 7 seconds back to there is Benjamin Nelson, who has a 2-second lead on Travis Schwenke and Benjamin Lanoa. That battle still going on for 7th and 8th position. This is last call. The director's bringing up the thing right now. Last call from reverse order. Last call brought to you by Blondie's Bar in Long Beach, the place to be. There's Dexter Castro. Let's go back to Benjamin Nelson, director. Get these in here before the pit stops. There's Benjamin Nelson in the parts group car running in 6th position. 2.3 seconds back to the battle of Schwenke and Lanowet running in 7th and 8th. We've kept an eye on that one. We go all the way back. 5 more seconds back, we go to Stefan Overgaard, who's already done his second pit stop, so he's a sleeper back there in 9th position. Jordy Fike in 10th position. And we're going to wrap out with all the cars on the lead lap still running. 1 lap down, Jeroen Ursum running in 11th position. 2 cars that are out, Eric Garcia and Trip Smith. That's last call, brought to you by Blondie's Bar in... Trip Smith is out.
Smith's still driving, yeah.
Oh, he is. Sorry.
9 laps down.
9 laps down. Well, that's what last call is all about. There's last call, Trip Smith. Brought to you by Blondie's Bar in Long Beach. Blondie's is going to be leaving us after this season. We certainly have enjoyed having them as a sponsor. They have new management now, so thank you, Blondie's, for all that you've done for us. And you are on the Wall of Fame as a contributor to the series. Let's go back to the lead now to see how Richard Eklund and Carlos Torres looks about the same. Ayrton?
Yeah, Torres still on the rear of Eklund at this point. They're actually coming up to Jordy Fike, lap car. We said that they would come up on him in a few laps ago, so it's about time now. Or maybe in the next half lap. They're not going to get him on the straight.
One of the strategies I always use as a proud card-carrying member of Back Markers United is it's always a good time to make your pit stop when you got those leaders coming up on you. So we'll see if Jordy has read the handbook and knows to dash into the pits this time. Jordy, we do not want to have to call Jordy in for a consultation into the offices of Back Markers United. Oh, now we have lots of drivers coming in for pits. We have Nelson in, Schwenke is in. Lanowitz stays out, so Lanowitz finally gets that position. We'll see if he can get it in pit stops.
So
Jordy Fike. Now here we go. Here's the lap, and look at Fike get out of the way here as both drivers get around him. Nice job, Jordy.
I'm actually very impressed with how well Torres has managed to stay with Eklund, considering that he only took those right side tires.
In fact, look at Eklund now going defensive there. Well, actually, no, that's the left-hand line, and there's that.
That's the right line, Bill.
That's right, yeah. Torres is on him, though.
Oh, Eklund? Was he faking going into the pits there?
Might have been. I think that was a fake. We said we were going to go in with Richard on a we were going to go visit him in the cockpit, but it's been so tight. He's been in such a battle the whole time. It really wouldn't be fair to him. We would hate to go in and then have a problem for him. So unless things settle down for him, we're going to let him race.
Yeah. From my understanding, he seems to be racing pretty hard so far.
Okay, now this is interesting. Lanowitz is out ahead of Overgaard. So, Overgaard either had a bad pit stop there or Lanowitz had a real good one. Benjamin Nelson is ahead of... No, Benjamin Nelson is behind them now. Nelson in 8th position. Schwenke in 9th, so Lanowitz has really had a great pit stop.
Yeah, about 9 laps left for the leaders.
Go ahead.
John Allen actually still closing the gap a little bit. He lost a little bit that time by, but he's still just under 3 seconds behind these guys.
Yeah, actually, looks like 2.5 now as he's knocked almost a second now. We haven't heard much from Amjad Yaman. He's hasn't been able to do much with Deuce Allen. Amjad's sitting about 5 seconds behind 3rd place. But his forte's coming up when they come down pit lane. We'll see what the doctor has in store. Maybe he has some secret snake oil medicine that he can get in and out quickly. Here comes Yaman coming in.
Yeah, Eklund faked going into the pits once again.
So Yaman had a really slow pit stop last time, but that could be because he's taken full fuel. So it's possible that, well, he'll only need enough to get to the end now, so we'll see how much he needs to take. He's in. Are they going up on tires? No, I don't think so from this distance.
No tires.
Still sitting in no tires for him.
He took 4 tires the last time, so he doesn't necessarily need tires.
But here goes Castro, so it looks like Castro is going to jump him in position. Of course, Castro hasn't pitted yet, that's right. Lanowitz coming in.
Yeah, he beat Overgaard out, who came out ahead of him the last stop. By a good margin, too.
All right, I might have made a mistake. I thought Lanowitz took his second pit stop, but apparently not. So that's why he had such a great second pit stop, because he actually didn't take it. So Lanowitz in the pits right now. Pulling out, and we'll keep an eye on Lanowitz here as he's going to try to get out ahead of Benjamin Nelson. We can go back here and find Nelson and Lanowitz are going to meet at pit X's, and Lanowitz is going to get out ahead. So Lanowitz is going to sit now in 7th position. Yeah, but ahead of Schwenke. You know, we were following that Lanowitz-Schwenke battle. Lanowitz has about Oh, he goes wide.
Oh,
Here we have a battle.
yeah,
Here we
Nelson
go. It
went
looks like
Lando gonna
Yeah.
get it back.
so Lanowit.
Yeah, Torres into pits from second place.
All right, Torres is in. Deuce Allen stays out. So here we go. Torres coming in. We'll see. He gets into his stall cleanly. We'll take a look and see if he puts on tires.
Doesn't look like
Does
he's
not
taking
look
tires.
like tires. No, he would have had it up by now.
That's interesting.
So
Oh wait, no, he's taking left now. Did he forget to set his tires? or
maybe he.
something?
So the guy we're going to look at now is Amjad Yaman. He's who he's going to try to beat out. He does. Torres is out. Amjad Yaman's going to be able to see him though.
I think
that
Torres
was-
lost some time there.
Yeah, that was not a great pit stop. I wouldn't think. So Castro coming in and now is coming out of for his second pit stop. Let's see how he files. Looks like he's going to file in comfortably into 6th position ahead of Lanowit and Nelson. So it's got to be about time for our leaders to come in. Eklund and Allen. The distance from Eklund to John Allen is about 2 seconds. From Allen to Carlos Torres is about 31 seconds.
Eklund into the pits. Allen
Eklund in
decides
and-
to stay out.
One more, okay.
That's
So
what he did
Eklund
last
comes around.
time. And he actually lost time last time.
So who we want to keep an eye on now is Carlos Torres. Carlos has a ways to go. Eklund is in his pit stall.
Takes left sides.
Torres just wrapping up the left-hander now. He's got to come all the way down, do the straight, the right-hander, and then he'll be ready to go. He has the hairpin, and then he'll be on the main straightaway. But I think he's well back.
Yeah, Eklund taking 4 tires.
Torres now rounding the hairpin, coming down the straightaway. Eklund is out. Torres is right behind him. Torres has momentum.
I think Eklund's probably got him beat going into the corner, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Torres is still right near him.
Close. I'd say that pretty much held position there. It was close. We're hearing that Garcia's car is smoking while it's in the pits. Garcia's been in the pits for quite a while, so
He blew up his engine while in
maybe
the
somebody
pits.
needs to get a little work done in there.
Too many cigarettes.
Okay, so now we have one piece of business to do left, and that's Deuce Allen. What can he do for a pit stop? How little fuel can he take? He's in right now. He was close to Eklund. Can he get in, get a clean stop, and get out ahead of Eklund and Torres? He's
Moment of truth.
no tires. Eklund is now down the long straight, and Torres and Allen is out. Oh, I don't know if he's
wow.
taken enough. He has a huge
was
advantage over
super
these
short.
guys. Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't know if Deuce has enough fuel to get to the end. He is way out in front.
He had a really long first stop, but I thought that was just him overshooting his pit stall.
Okay, his lead is almost 11 seconds, 10 and a half seconds on Richard Eklund. Could Deuce Allen steal a victory? Can he steal one away from the champion, Richard Eklund? We might have 2 drivers celebrating today. Deuce Allen, our fastest pole sitter, our fastest qualifier, out in front with a huge 10-second lead. But we all are doubting whether he has enough fuel to get to the end. Lap 38, he only needed 5 laps of fuel.
It's a battle for 8th place right now. Benjamin Lanouette and Benjamin Nelson. Lanouette just went on by in turn 1.
The battle of the bends to see which one will be the big Ben, and it looks right now it's going to be Lanouette. Meanwhile, we'll keep an eye on the interval back to second place of Richard Eklund. Is down to 10 seconds. He's lost about a half second so far just on, one lap. Could he be short shifting, lifting early? It's now down to 9.8 seconds. He's doing the math in his cockpit. 9.8 divided by 4 laps to go is 2 seconds a lap. Carry the 3. I think I can get there. He's all alone. He has no crew chief to help him.
If he manages to pull this off, I think this will be the first time that I've seen a MX-5 World Tour race come down to a strategy like this.
What are Eklund? I'd like to get into the... I would love to go into the cockpit right now of Richard Eklund and ask him if he's worried. Richard, do you need to push, or do you think there's no possible way he could be out there? What is Eklund thinking?
I think at this point we could just wait until the end.
Oh, I think so.
It's like 4 laps left.
The lead is now almost down to 9 seconds as another second has fallen off, but it's been only a lap. Nice battle we're seeing on screen between the bends. Lanouette out in front. The yellow car of Nelson behind. It's the Ben and Ben show, and in the very back you can see that orange car. I'm pretty sure that's Travis Schwenke back there. Running. As they go through here, we're making all sorts of puns. Ed, director, for a little bit, let's go into the cockpit of Deuce Allen, and let's see if we can just tell by listening to the engine if he's light, if he's lifting. We're going to go on board with Deuce.
He's running slow lap time, so I think he is.
Actually, we don't hear the audio here, but maybe our director can tell if he can hear it. It's yeah, he's definitely running. Oh my goodness, it's down to 8 seconds now. Certainly, I don't think we need to be on board. I think it's unless Eklund and Torres have hit the nitro button. Yes, obviously Deuce Allen is milking it. Down to 7.7 seconds now.
Yeah, he's really lifting off before the corners.
So we have 2 things to worry about. While all that's going on, you still have the battle between Eklund and Torres is right there with Eklund. We don't think fuel is a problem for either one of those guys. And Torres has been dogging Eklund this entire race.
And he didn't take tires that last off either. Eklund did. And so Torres, the left side tires have been going the whole race. And he's still keeping pace with him.
He would certainly need them right here, you see, but look, he does a pretty good job there. Those left tires hold on through that right-hander. My goodness, we have intrigue here as Season 9 of the Tidal Influence MX-5 World Tour winds down. Keeping an eye on the interval. 7.5 seconds now.
Oh, Eklund going defensive. Torres got a really good run. He's going on the outside. Probably not going to be able to make the move, but he might be able to get the over-under as they're heading onto the front stretch.
That could easily be the battle for the lead right there. Eklund's pitching him. Torres right behind him. Torres with the nose to the inside. Will he try to duck in there? Will Eklund tries to close the door? Torres backs out. They duck in behind. Single file. Torres right behind him. Eklund with a good exit. They go nose to tail. Coming through the S's now. Eklund able to put about a 1 car length lead on Torres. They're working lap 41. 3 to go.
Oh, Eklund tried to go defensive, but Torres switches back around, does a little bit of a dummy. He's now on the inside. They're going through turn 6. Great move from Torres. If he might be able to hold it, but Eklund has the pace coming out of the corners, heading up to turn 7, manages to clear him. Torres can't get the move done, but these guys are costing time and letting Allen have a chance at the win.
The interval now 6.5 seconds from our leaders back to the guys battling for second position. Does Allen have enough? Will the Colombian Carlos Torres be able to get around the champion of Richard Eklund? We'll find out in less than 4 minutes as there are 3 laps to go. Torres again, making a move to the inside. No, Torres is coming into the pits. He didn't have enough fuel. He short-pitted. Oh, that's going to cost him several positions. So there's one storyline taken away. Not fig.
Well, looks like we might have lost Bill for a little bit. Bad timing now. Torres headed into the pits. He was probably just putting up a little bit of fuel, and yeah, he comes out of the pits now, but that's definitely going to cost him. Amjad Yaman has already gone by. Stefan Overgaard has gone by him as well.
I'm back. And now we know that there's just one storyline left, and that's John Deuce Allen looking for his first win of the season. Does he have enough to hold off the charging Richard Eklund? The distance is 5.4 seconds now back. John Allen trying to stretch that fuel. Clearly he's short-pitted. He knows all he has to do is get it around. He's got 5 seconds. It's now down to 5.1 seconds. Richard Eklund driving for all he's worth. Allen knows he does not want to lose the race because of speed. He'd rather run it out of gas than have Eklund pass him. Still holding it 5 seconds now. Working on lap 42. Eklund has him in sight.
There's a battle for 9th going on. Travis Schwinke going around Benjamin Nelson. Manages to get the move done through turn 6.
Allen crosses the start-finish line now as we work the final lap. The interval 4.4, 4.3, 4.2. Eklund closing. Allen nursing, trying to get every drop, every ounce of fuel. 3.6 seconds now back to Richard Eklund. 3.5. Light on the throttle. Braking early, lifting early, shifting late. Shifting early, not keeping the revs up. 2.9, 2.7 seconds. Looking back at Eklund, you can see him closing in. 2.4 seconds. 2.3, Eklund racing for all he's worth. 2.2 seconds. Going through the S's now, through this right-hander. The interval is down to under 1 second now. Under 2 seconds, 1.8.
Allen's almost out.
Allen is sputtering. 1.3. He's got too far to go. Here comes your Season 9 champion. Deuce
Eklund's got him.
About a half a lap short. How much could that have been? Maybe another seconds in the pit. Eklund turns the final corner. Your winner of the Tidal Influence MX-5 World Tour Season 9 finale, Richard Eklund. Deuce Allen lips it across in second place. Third place goes to Amjad Yaman in a quiet battle. A couple lap cars. Carlos Torres looks like he's going to get 5th position. 4th place to Overgaard. Dexter Castro, 6th spot. Benjamin Lano at 7th position. Lanowit in 7th. Travis Schwenke picks up 8th. Benjamin Lanowit in 9th spot. Benjamin Nelson, wrong Benjamin. And rounding out the top 10, Jordy Fike in 11th position. Ayrton, who's in 11th position?
I don't want to say it.
Oh, 11th, the Dutchman. Jiren Ursa missed that top 10 by 1 spot, rounding out the rest of the field. Trip Smith, and in 13th, Eric Garcia. Oh, we had an exciting finish to wrap up Season 9. That's what we'd like to see. We're going to go to break right now. We're going to come back with interviews, do the final rundown, and say goodbye from Season 9. While we're on break, take a look at the slideshow for the upcoming events. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back. I've taken a sip of some hot water and lemon. I got my voice back, and we're good to go. We ran down those the entire field, but we'll do it one more time quickly here. Ayrton, I'll do the top half. You can do the bottom half. Our winner today and champion for the season, Richard Eklund. John Deuce Allen almost pulled off the smoke and mirrors victory there with a second place finish. Just not enough fuel. Jed Yaman, a quiet podium. Stefan Overgaard, 4th position. Nice job from here. And Carlos Torres, after miscalculating his fuel and a 3rd pit stop, was able to get a top 5. Dexter Castro in 6th. Why don't you take it from here, my friend?
Benjamin Lanoet finished out in 7th place. Then Travis Schwinke, our starting pole, finished in 8th. Benjamin Nelson in 9th place. And then George Fike in 10th. Jiren Ursum just missed out, finished in 11th place. And then Trip Smith in 12th. And Eric Garcia, not finishing the race, blew his engine in pit lane, finished in 13th.
Okay, we'll see if we can get in some quick interviews here. I've pulled Richard Eklund into the booth. Ayrton, feel free to jump in if you have any questions for him. Richard, congratulations. We talked to you on beginning before the show. We just didn't have the heart to come to you during the race because, my gosh, you were in a dogfight the entire time.
I couldn't hear after that. I'm still in the session here, and people are still talking. But I think you said you couldn't talk to me during the race or something. You could have. It would have been fine. It was an extremely boring race for me, so it would have been okay.
You were just Torres behind you, or just racing comfortably there. Not a big problem. Well, then let's jump ahead then to the excitement at the end. We were wondering what you were thinking when you saw Deuce 10, 11, 12 seconds out there, you had to figure it had to be a fuel thing. Were you racing hard? Did you say there's no way you could be that far? What were you thinking?
Okay, I can hear you now. No, both of my pit stops got screwed. I had no tires select. No, on the first stop I had left side tires selected, and I got 4 tires. And I thought, okay, that's just my mistake. I wasn't paying attention. And then the next stop, I made sure, like 5 times, that I had no tires selected, and I still get right side tires. So I thought that was just because of the tires. But when I saw him going so slow, I figured there was a chance, and I got lucky. So
that was Torres gave you a little battle there. He ducked in there a few times, but couldn't get it done, and then he had to finally leave the fight because he didn't have enough fuel.
yeah, I had no straight line speed at all. I don't know. I had 2 0x contacts early in the race, but I think one was on the side, one was in the back, so they shouldn't have affected me. But I had no straight line speed. I don't know what was going on, but so it was just super lucky to win today.
Well, on behalf of all the other members of the series and everybody here at GSRC, and on all seriousness, congratulations on your win. I'm so glad you went for it and it paid off, and that's great. 2 championships, you're on the Wall of Fame, my friend.
Thanks. Just before I wanted to go, I wanted to give a quick plug to my driving coach, Sam McAleer. He's been helping me throughout the whole season, 4 days a week, 9 to 5. So, thanks to him.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thanks, Richard. Don't know what does that mean. All right, who can we see next here? Our director. We have somebody, Erden or Amjad. I see Amjad.
Alan?
Erden, who would you like to want to get Deuce Allen? Okay, let's see if we can bring Deuce in.
Hello.
There you go, Amjad or Erden. You want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. Well, John, that was a go in or go home kind of strat you had there. What were you thinking with, or how did that plan come into effect?
Actually, I didn't have much of a pit stop plan coming into it. I'm just really comfortable with this track, and so I ran the tank to empty and then filled up again, and then was just trying to gauge as I drove how much I'd need. And I was too worried about how much time I gave missing my pit stall the first time, and I jumped the gun by about 1/10 of a gallon there on the second stop.
Well, you were saving for quite a long time and just missed out 2 corners short. And I mean, this is your favorite track. How do you think you would have had a chance if you just put in that extra little bit?
I only needed 1 or 2 tenths, obviously. In fact, even if I saved a different way, if I coasted down the long straight, 2 times full while Richard and Carlos were still 10 seconds back, I probably would have had the fuel to fight him at the end, even if he caught me. So just played strategy a little bit wrong, but I'll take a first ever podium to finish the season out for sure.
And you know what, John? What's interesting is you were really fast anyway. I mean, of all the races to do a kind of smoke and mirrors fuel strategy type thing, you really were fast. You had the money to stay with these guys straight up, don't you think?
Yeah. This is. I don't know if it's my favorite course, but for whatever reason, it suits me perfectly. It is my fastest course, bar none. So I was very confident. I just played the math wrong, but had a blast.
Yeah, well, congratulations. You gave us an exciting finish there. We got those lap 1 gremlins away from us now. It's been a long time. I think that's history. We got ourselves a nice second place. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll put the ghosts behind me and probably honor that with a new paint job next season. So keep your eyes peeled.
All right. Well, that's really a good thing. That's if anyone deserved any good luck and a nice finish, it was him. Let's see if we can go one more. Do you want to bring in Amjad Yaman here? Amjad, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Well, maybe you can have something exciting to say. It looks like you had a pretty uneventful third place finish there.
Well, it was pretty eventful in my head, at least, trying to figure out fuel. Yeah, second pit stop. My first pit stop went longer than I expected, so I forgot to compensate for that with my second stop, and I was planning on being ahead of Torres coming out of the second pit stop, but that little hiccup in the second stop, dropped me back a few seconds. And with Torres' fuel problem, it didn't matter in the long run, so I maxed out on points. I'm happy.
Well, we're going to see how many drivers we can get in here today. Another podium, another top 5 in the standing. And you know what? Maybe we'll do the math. This might be enough to get you up there to 3rd place in the standings. It could be close.
It's gonna be close, yeah.
All right, we'll get those up soon, and good luck to you, man.
Thank you.
Aaron, let's go ahead and bring in the Dutch driver, Jeroen Ursum, 11th place. Just missed it. Do you want to take us a little bit, Aaron?
Yeah, well, I can't help but feel sorry for you, Jeroen.
So close.
Just missed out.
So close. But I have to make sure that John has a fuel sample for the stewards in the end of the race. Or maybe I'm 10th after the race, I don't know.
Oh, that's right. There's still disqualifications. You're not out of this yet.
Well, it was very close, but yeah.
You had a little trouble there. You got, did you get bumped, and was the car damaged after that? We saw you loop it and then park it on the straightaway, and then you got it in the pits and took an early pit stop. Was the car slower after that?
No, not really. No, nothing really happened there. The only thing that happened was after I was hit, I completely missed my aiming point at the corner.
Ah.
So I just messed it up there.
Yeah, because it was a couple corners after the contact, but you had lost your rhythm. Well.
Yeah. Well, I was jumping up and down, so to speak, when I saw all the smoke on the back straight, or on the front straight when he blew his engine. I was hoping for someone making a misshift somewhere, but nothing happened anymore. So.
Yeah, there was 10 drivers ahead of you. All it took was one mistake there. Well,
Yep.
Congratulations! It's always a pleasure to have you in the series, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, for sure.
Ayrton, how about we do one more? We'll bring in Benjamin Lanowitz. You want to take this one?
Sure. Benjamin, you here? Is he here?
Benjamin, are you in?
Oh, hello.
There you go. Caught you by
Sorry,
surprise.
I was watching the broadcast.
Well, you had a pretty eventful race, actually. You were battling with multiple drivers throughout the race. Travis Schwinke, Benjamin Nelson. What were your thoughts on it? And, I mean, a good 7th place finish for you.
Oh, it was a fun race. Good battles with Schwenke and Nelson there. It's really tight racing. It was a lot of fun.
And I think you're also the Ironman champion for this season as well. Is that right, Bill?
Yeah, 4th one.
Congratulations on that, too, yeah.
Benjamin, I didn't think you saw that one coming, did you?
No, I had pretty much counted myself out, but I guess here I am, Iron Man.
Are you enjoying racing in the Conti series?
Yeah, for sure. It's great fun.
Well, congratulations on another Ironman. You're already on the Wall of Fame. Great season 9 for you, and we'll see you wherever the Continental Tire Series is going next.
Yeah, Mosport, I believe.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Congratulations. You can hear the little bit of Canadian accent there from Benjamin. Well, are we done, Director? All right, I think we've talked to enough. Let's wrap this thing up. That puts the end to Season 9. Congratulations to everybody. As I'm stalling to turn the page on the script, and I'm reading this one straight in honor of it being the 9th race, or the end of the season. There'll be no ad-libbing. Start the music! Congratulations to Tidal Influence. Not congratulations, but thank you to Tidal Influence, an ecological consulting firm based in Long Beach, California, that restores wetlands, saves and studies endangered species, and educates children about the environment. For more information, go to TidalInfluence.com and thank them for being the title sponsor for this entire season. Mountaintop Cabin Rentals, and of course, they also are the sponsors of Keys to the Race. Your best choice for Green Valley Lake Lodging. Green Valley Lake is the best kept secret in San Bernardino Mountains of California. To find out more, visit GBLCabinRentals.com. And while you're in GBL, stop in at Eagle Nest Tavern for a cold drink and a hot meal. Check out Eagle Nest Tavern on Facebook. Thanks to companies, equipment, and software we use on the broadcast. Stuff like iRacing.com, XSplit, Twitch TV, Audio Technica, Behringer, and AverMedia. We skip over that part because it's not important. A special thanks to Eric Eckholm, whose music is not only found here on GSRC, but in TV commercials, music trailers, iTunes, and Spotify. I now know what Spotify is because I now know. If you like your music, tell Eric Eckholm where you heard it on Twitter at Eric Eckholm, and also to Casey Lalonde, who also provides music. And of course, you can find Casey Lalonde's music at
Bandcamp.com.
Okay. Thanks to my mate, Ayrton Ellis, our director Joe Peak, Dougie Beard for his camera locations. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com, along with archived races and race highlights. I'm looking over to see if I'm missing anything. We've also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. Next up for the Global Sim Racing Channel is the Bootleg Racing League's Outlaw Modified Series. Round 8, 75 laps of circular excitement from Bristol. That's later tonight. I think that's 6 o'clock start time Pacific time. I might be off by about an hour. I believe it's 6 o'clock. Come in early. And tune in. Go to the refrigerator and get some like little salamis and stuff, and some adult beverages, and enjoy the meal. I'm going off script. And now that the housekeeping is all done, for the final time this season, it's time for us to say, have fun storming the castle. Until next time, race clean, race hard, and we will see you on the track.
Party!